to get this video started. Obviously, in the last 944 video, you saw what happened there. So I went to Florida for a month anyway in the Focus ST, and we pick up there when I'm in Florida.
All right, so I found it. It's back in here, and there's the cable. It's got to get pushed back in. There's a motor somewhere, if I could see it. The motor right there that runs the roof. All right, so gonna put it back together. Well, here's the 944 out on its second maiden voyage. First one blew the clutch. So far, I've gone about 6 miles with it, and it actually runs really nice. Rides real nice. Clutch is working great. So heading back home. See what happens. All right, so it made it back home, and everything looks pretty good. It's back inside the garage, and the battery is charging because I'm not sure, but I think the alternator might not be working properly. It seems to start real slow when I try to turn it over, so we'll have to figure that one out. So after looking at this, I pulled the air cleaner out, got down to the alternator, and I'm looking. There's a removable voltage regulator right there, which costs like 90 bucks, and the alternator costs about 300. But you shouldn't be able to do this. Maybe the belt is loose. All right, have to tighten it up, see what happens. So I have the new cables, and this is the old one. It's all exposed copper there. It's all crusted up over here. So this is the new set right here. Yeah. Oh, so nice and pretty. What happened? Well, the AC compressor pulley fell off.
Yes.
So we're going to delete it while we get, because, you know, Porsche can't just get parts. So we got to order a compressor, we got to rebuild kit, change over 134A, and we don't want the car sitting. So we're buying a delete bracket where you move the alternator to where the compressor was. You get a different belt. You get it through Lindsay Racing,
And then
then we can just start the car up. It'll just won't have AC until they're all unbolted. That comes out, and then there's your alternator. The compressor sat directly below it, so
Where that
you take this off,
piece
you
ends.
pull this bracket off, and you put this whole bracket comes off, and the new bracket goes on and puts the alternator down there. All right, so alternator's unbolted, 2 bolts, one here, one across here, and swing that off to the side, and I got 4 bolts here, and the bracket's coming in tomorrow. So I'm going to see if I could crack these or if I have to soak them with some kind of bolt loosener.
Be soaked.
And then we'll just put the bracket on, and instead of it swinging out like this, it goes straight down. So the alternator goes down on the bottom. Take the bracket off. All right, so all the bolts came out kind of nice. I'm on the last one here, and that has the hook to hold the motor. And then she comes, and it's hollowed out piece of aluminum for lightweight because it's Porsche.
Weighs 2,800 pounds. That's a boat by late 80s standards.
So that's it. We do have it up. As you can see, it's just a simple plate, and the alternator is going to swing down like this underneath, and it's going to go underneath that, and then you can. This is the plate. It bolts up here. I took the original one off that had the alternator up here, the AC down here. Now you take this and you put this here, and your AC, your alternator sits right here, and that's your adjusting bracket down here for your belt.
Yes, and then the car will work, and then rebuild the AC later on, make all that function, but the car runs now.
Yeah, we want to keep it on the road.
Alright, so time to get this hood off and put it on my car because this is original paint and it actually sands really well. So I'll take that any day of the week over the 7 amateur paint jobs that the other blue hood has had. And the blue hood's going on here. Correction, the blue hood is going on that 924, which is a true work of art. You'll see it. Also, I am helping him put that glorious hatch on, peeling eBay tint and all.
The peeling tint and everything, that goes with the character.
What about the tree growing in it?
The tree growing in it's an added bonus, you know.
Alright, time to put the hood on.
It's two 13mm sockets and a connector on your driver's side that runs under the plastic valence cup. That's a nice horn you got there. What?
You didn't grab the
I didn't grab, I didn't know. I grabbed the pliers. That's all I needed.
tools, I believe.
So I think the only part of this car that is original to this car is the interior. That is it.
And this right here.
No, this door is not original. That's the
No,
one.
I went to one area under the car.
You mean one rock?
Yes.
Yes.
He buys incredible machines. Didn't realize
I
that.
only pick winners.
Yeah. He's never bought a questionable car in his life.
Oh yeah, you only buy concourse cars.
I do! Look at the SL.
I want to show you one of the features you get with your brand new hood for your lovely 924 that's never been left outside for 8 years with a blown head gasket. Yeah, so they filled it with expanding foam, which, you know, attracts water.
Oh, expanding foam. That's
Expanding foam, metal, and moisture, they really get along. We're disrupting those floor curtains. Yeah. Now that looks pretty good. The sprayers are a little off, but that's okay. Next step will be the bumper, but that is not today's problem.
All right, there's tape in there.
Okay, so here's a door. It is finally a warm enough day to shoot, and there's no humidity. So I got this actually high quality, decent primer, and we're going to, I'll mask off the mirror and shoot this, and we're good. Alright, so that is 2 coats of primer. That looks pretty good. You're going to want to drain your... Wipe this down with some clean water. As you can tell, I've already done a round of this.
With what?
600 wet.
There you go. So they know.
So now that that's dry, put your clean water here. You get your wet sander, 600 grit,
Lightly, not heavy.
and just go up
Right.
and down. And actually, it's really wet right now, so it's
Keep
taking a
going.
little longer. But you're going to want to frequently soak it. When it's wet, it's almost like sliding on ice, and it will get right here. I need water. It's getting tough. It starts to get sticky.
Good. You can feel that. That's important.
Get around there. Oh, that worked well. All right, so I did 3 more rounds of cleaning, and we are ready to start shooting primer. Hey, my hood latch. Well, we're
Yay!
gonna do that.
Goodbye, paper. Why are you laying it on like that?
You're over. I'm trying to overlap it, but
Well, no, usually when I paint, it's so I don't use as much.
well, that's for touch up. This is a full paint. Okay, as you saw with the previous wet sanding, I did the same thing to our door here, and it looks pretty good, to be completely honest with you. I'm gonna let this dry, and this is ready to go for the car. And I ran out of time today, but what I wanted to do was get this down, so if you look back here, see this horrible cracking in this. I don't know if it's clear or bad paint job or whatever, but it was all over this front fender. This is the only fender that is staying from the original car here. And I figured, let's get all of that crap gone. And once again, I wet sanded it for quite a while, so it should be pretty solid for primer sometime later this week. It's this stuff. If you don't know, I'm gonna have to hit that with paper because it's way too close to the headlight cover. Okay, so the weather is somewhat workable today. We have low humidity and high heats. Well, there's wind, but I'll take it. And time to shoot this. You already saw I scuffed it down. Everything's masked off. Let's get going. Because knowing my luck, it'll rain in about 10 minutes. Our weapon of choice is Rust-Oleum Professional Primer. Not because it's professional, but because it's a big can and I can get a whole coat done in one go. Excuse the temporary delay. We wait for the wind to stop blowing. Well, other than I didn't shake it well enough, I believe, and it's a giant run. That's fine. That means there's too much primer in there, which is a good thing. You can wet sand that out. So let's just let it dry and hopefully it doesn't rain in the next 10 minutes. Okay, while that's drying, I'm gonna work with this sunroof. This is from, once again, the red donor car. And this sunroof was originally the same system as my sunroof, but it's been converted. So really I could just take a couple screws off the back locks and have a sunroof that isn't cracked. Anyway, so I've already soaked it down and I hit it with the DA over there with some 160 grit. And then now I'm gonna do again is to clean the whole thing down and give it 1 or 2 rounds of wet sanding, and it should be good for paint or primer. Now we're going to let that dry for a few minutes, see what it looks like, and if it is ready to go, I'm going to put my primer down. And of course, I don't care about that seal. That's seal. While that's drying, I'm going to do the second coat here because that is good to the touch. Well, it is a giant run, which I believe is a combination of me being too close to the panel and the wind. But I can wet sand that out. I have 2 coats down, and now we will let it dry. While that's drying, I also shot this. That's going on eBay. There's a little bit of sanding on that mark, but the rest of it's done. And now it is time to shoot the sunroof. So I pulled this off the parts car. Now one of the locks is broken, but it is the lock I have that works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the sunroof, take off my own, and have a functioning visor. So if you see this lock here, that is obviously broken. Now if we line these up, that one's broken. That doesn't matter to me. That one works. This one's good, so I'm just going to swap out this one and put it all back together. And just like that, we now have a functioning top, which is excellent. Okay, so I want to give this some proper drying time, and it might as well let it sit for the night. This looks pretty good in all honesty, and tomorrow I will switch everything over to the other locks. Now the next step is fairly simple. So this is your climate control cluster, and that works. No, that's broken. That being said, this is better than the one that I have in the car because this actually works. So I'm going to go install this one. It's really simple. All you need is a Phillips head screwdriver. So all your switch gear comes off, or in my case, it's being 40 years old and it's just falling apart anyway. And get it off. When this gauge fell off, the whole thing just fell apart. So now it's really easy. You got 4 Phillips head screws and a couple connectors in the back. So let's get this thing out. Okay, so the car is running. The e-brake isn't very strong, so I have to keep my foot on the brake. But let's see if this works. Recirculate, obviously. That's not responsive at all, but let's try this. Excellent! It now blows some kind of wind forward instead of no kind of wind. Now, as we see here, we have 3 connectors. They are just, actually they're old, like, late 80s, early 90s style computer connectors. I recognize them from 386, 486 type machines. You just pop these off. Just like that, there's no locks, no pins, just, you know, a little bit of pulling and tugging. Keep in mind, it is 40-year-old plastic, so do be careful, but we have our old one out. So here, if we compare the two, this is my replacement unit. Stuff like this works. I'm really interested in having defrost, which is nice. That's broken. A lot of this doesn't really actually do anything anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull off some of this stuff and make this function. Okay. So this is obviously still broken, but it's nicer than the one that came off. So let's call that. While the seat is out, I figured I would take care of this. This is our seat rail. Obviously this was stuck and I freed it up when I first got the car, but I never really fully cleaned the rail all that well. So what I'm going to do is take a wire wheel go over it and shoot it with some black paint. Let that dry. Okay, so I did my best here. So I wire wheeled this side. Same process, I'll just put some lacquer thinner on that. A little bit of rusty metal primer. Lubricated that. You gotta put some lubrication on that once it dries. And I think these seats, well, I've done my part. So, this is my seat from my blue car, but it shows you a perfect example of what I think the red seat is like, both of them. So here we see, I think that's probably rotted out, just like that is. That's why there's zip ties there, because it's weakened. And we see this stuff, which is where, this is what happens when it gets frozen to the part of the rail in the car. So I think it's in a much worse state than this, and that is going to be a whole lot of fun to get out. So, on my 944, didn't have an odometer. That would explain that. Alright, so I probably should have filmed it. Would have been excellent YouTube content, but I was trying to fix the $500 gauge cluster. And it appears, I don't know, the gears are in, as I've shown with the previous clip, and hopefully I have a speedometer. So here we are. Should have filmed this, but I was intensely focused. But here is our speaker cover. And here's our door. So the old harness is out. Managed to get that out. And now what I'm going to do is line this up and send it. And hopefully we have a door. That would be nice. It's late, I'm getting some gas, but the door opens and closes. It needs a little bit of adjustment. And once that's adjusted, I need to fix this wiring here. The motor stopped working, probably, I'm guessing this thing's fucked. But the speakers work, and good progress for day one. So this radio is going to get swapped out for this Ford one, mainly because they're $6 instead of impossible to find in a junkyard and usually broken. So,
and I've been going through this, and these, they didn't cut anything off. They just, I'm retaping everything, making it better. But yeah, they just kind of
this had the
tapped into it, left all the old connectors in, and just tapped in and then hooked up this connectors for the next radio. So nothing in their car was originally destroyed, so it's really not that bad.
So if by sheer luck you actually managed to find one of those radios, they cost about $1,000, but let's say you did, it could actually go back to stock. Yes?
Yeah.
Just good luck finding one. Welcome back to $2 Garage. You joined me in northern New Jersey. It's actually kind of a cool looking morning out as long as it doesn't rain. And I need to head to 944 Fest. That is in Garrettsville, Ohio. I have about a 5-hour drive ahead of me. Need to get some food. And on the way down, let's go. Knock on wood, it seems to be running okay right now. And
Chris,
been fun for the past 2 months, so hopefully it makes a 6-hour drive. If it does break down, it's not right next to a major highway. Okay, so I've had a slight exhaust leak for 3 months, but I've kind of just ignored it because it's doing old car things. But it's now less than slight, and I have to get gas anyway, so let's go check that one out. So, the sunroof isn't quite sitting right, so I suspect this gear is stripped out. Good thing I have a spare on me. I'll do this up. There you go. So there's our old one. Let's get a look at it. Yeah, it broke. Western Pennsylvania. I have 300 miles of this. Observe the last moments before everything went to shit. So this is where I do not want to be. So here's your first sign of issue. Huh. There's oil on the wheels. Interesting. There's oil all over the ground. Even better. There's a hole above the oil pan. Fantastic. Time to get this in the air and see just how bad it is. He's here because these quick jacks in the last 12 months have tried to kill me twice solo. So I'm good. So yeah, let's get this done. Okay, so I think it's lined up. If you hear a loud clunk, that never happened. Everything is fine, I swear.
Oil. Oh, look at the magnet.
Oh my god, this thing blew up a lot.
Put this in a resin box.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my extra one. So, it went out.
It went out with a boom.
A very, I will tell, a very loud boom. I thought something was on fire when it first happened. That is some, that's metal flake oil. That is a feature, yeah. Okay, so I'm curious because, this pan is coming off because I want to make something out of it now.
You need a table.
The engine's gonna be a table, yeah.
Yeah, so, you see this right here? This is what you want to find in your oil pan. Yeah, let me, just show the carnage here. Carnage etoile. Oh boy, so. Fancy light, yes. We need the fancy light up in here. So, cylinder number 3 has, left the building, shall we say. It just got a bit tired of living in this engine. You went, you know what? I am going to go out to the world and explore, and that's what your car has done.
He wanted to explore Route 80 West.
Your car, your cylinder number 3 got a sense of freedom here and killed your motor.
Look at this. Oh. Yeah. That's a factory hole.
The whole thing.
Oh my god.
So that's your con rod. That's the side.
Yeah, I'm getting.
There's the other side.
Yep. Yeah. About that one. Well, that will be the end of this video. As we can see, Conrad 3 has decided to leave the chat, and it left an oil stain on the floor. That being said, it's been quite a while since the last video. It was a fun 3 months. And this will get fixed because it is an absolute money pit and I will lose my ass on this thing. So, it'll get fixed. I'm going to pull the Porsche car engine and we'll go from there. So I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to leave a like, favorite, and subscribe. This is $2 Garage. Have a nice day.